Hey everyone, welcome back to DRM News. Pope Francis died on April 21, 2025, at the age of 88. This shocking news has paused the canonization of Carlo Acutis, the soon-to-be first millennial saint, and is sparking global mourning. But it also raises a profound question: could Pope Francis himself become a saint? What would it take, and is it even possible? Let's dive into the Catholic Church's sainthood process, explore the possibilities, and reflect on what this means in light of today's breaking news. Stay with us, this is a big one. First, let's touch on Carlo Acutis, whose canonization was set for April 27, 2025, but has been delayed due to Pope Francis's death. Acutis, a teenage web developer who died of leukemia in 2006, earned sainthood through two miracles: healing a Brazilian boy with a pancreatic issue and a Costa Rican woman after a bike accident. His story shows how the Church recognizes saints, and it's our roadmap for understanding if Pope Francis could follow suit. So, how does someone become a saint?
Typically, it starts very slowly at a local level. People who knew the person might report their testimony. They might speak to the local bishop or the local religious order and kind of testify that this person was holy, and they would like to begin a process to consider whether the Church might consider them a saint.
The Vatican's dicastery for the causes of saints oversees a process called I-cause. Normally, it can't start until 5 years after someone's death, though popes can waive this. Since Pope Francis has just passed, his cause would likely wait unless a future pope fast-tracks it. The process begins with the title Servant of God, followed by an investigation into whether the person lived a life of heroic virtues, exceptional faith, charity, or courage. If approved, they're named a venerable. Then come the miracles. For non-martyrs like Pope Francis, 2 miracles are required, one for beatification, earning the title blessed, and another for sainthood. These are typically medically inexplicable healings, verified by a Vatican medical commission, attributed to prayers to the candidate.
Now, a miracle in the Catholic Church does not mean that the person who was a saint created the miracle, but merely that people on earth were asking God for help and asking this person who they think was a saint, who was in heaven with God, to kind of bring attention to their cause and cause a miracle to happen. Often these miracles are healings, unexplained healings, of people who are sick or ill or have had some injury, and there's no scientific explanation for why they were healed or what happened. And the people believe that in praying for the help of the saint, God caused this miracle to happen. Typically what they're looking for is something that happened that can't really be explained by science. A healing of a person who was very sick, some sort of intercession of a saint that really can't be explained by science or by medicine. So the Church thinks it's reasonable to assume that there was some sort of intercession by God to cause this miracle to happen.
For example, Acutis was beatified in 2020 after his first miracle and was on track for sainthood before this news. Martyrs don't need miracles, but that likely wouldn't apply here. Could Pope Francis qualify? Born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, he led the Catholic Church for 12 years, becoming the first Latin American and Jesuit pope. Known for his humility, living in a guest house, not the papal apartments, and his focus on the poor, migrants, and climate change, Francis reshaped the Church's priorities. His calls for mercy, interfaith dialogue, and transparency, like investigating Vatican finances, could be seen as heroic virtues. However, his progressive reforms, including openness to LGBTQ+ issues and women in leadership, sparked controversy among traditionalists, which could complicate his cause. Miracles are the next hurdle. If people pray to Francis after his death and inexplicable healings occur, these could be investigated. Recent popes like John Paul II, canonized in 2014 after 2 miracles, and Paul VI, canonized in 2018, show it's possible. But it's not guaranteed. Sainthood requires rigorous evidence and Church support. Francis's health struggles, including a recent 5-week hospitalization for double pneumonia, and his death today from a stroke and cardiac arrest, as reported by Reuters and Vatican News, might inspire devotion, boosting his case. Who benefits if Francis becomes a saint? His supporters, progressive Catholics, the poor, and those inspired by his inclusivity, would see it as a validation of his vision. The Church could use his sainthood to engage younger or marginalized communities, much like Acutis appeals to tech-savvy youth. But there's a catch. Traditionalists who clashed with Francis over doctrine might resist, arguing his reforms diluted church teachings.
For the church to declare someone a saint is a formal recognition that the church believes this person was holy, this person is now in heaven with God, and is part of the community of saints. So for the church to declare someone a saint, it's just a declaration that the church believes this person lived such a holy life with such care and charity for others, exemplifying the church's teachings, that they are now in heaven with God.
The process could also stir debate, draining Vatican resources and highlighting divisions, as seen in posts on X mourning his death but also debating his legacy. What's the bigger picture? Francis's potential sainthood could shape the Church's future, signaling whether it embraces his inclusive approach or reverts to conservatism. Compared to young saints like St. Therese of Lisieux, who died at 24, or St. Aloysius Gonzaga, who died at 23, Francis's long life offers a vast legacy to scrutinize. His death today, just after Easter Sunday's public appearance, marks a turning point, with a conclave to elect his successor set for May 7, 2025. So, could Pope Francis become a saint? Yes, it's possible. If his life is deemed virtuous, 2 miracles are verified, and the Church rallies behind him. His death today starts the clock, but the journey is long and uncertain. What do you think? Does Francis deserve sainthood? How will his legacy shape the Church? Share your thoughts below, and if you want more on this historic moment, hit subscribe and the bell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.